Yeah. Any questions, any doubts, guys? Before starting the session, any questions? Anyone tried setting up the things? Guys, I have already shared the softwares and notes also. You will get 2 attachments. Please check your spam. Okay, please check your spam. Generally, it will go to spam as I use it to share to multiple people at a time. So it will treat it as a spam. So go and check the spam first. Okay. So still people are asking like how to access material, how to access videos and all. For material, go to your Gmail inbox and check the spam folder. Okay, this is for materials. Right. This is for materials, guys. Your softwares and notes. Fine. For videos, go to our channel. Okay, YouTube, and type SOS University. Okay, there you can see SOSC University. There you can see batch 50 playlist. Under batch 50 playlist, you can see 8 videos are there. Okay, till now 8 completed, till yesterday 8 completed. So don't worry about it. 3 actually I did not recorded. So instead of 3, it was like going with the 4 onwards. 1, 2, then there is no class to record actually. So that was like a small recording which is not so useful. So I just deleted. I didn't uploaded that one. So then again 1, 2, 4 onwards it will continue 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos. Okay, till yesterday whatever we discussed that I have uploaded in our YouTube channel. Again, subscribe to the channel so that whenever I upload the videos, immediately you will get the notification, so that no need to wait when I'll share and no need to wait. Okay. After 15 to 20 classes, I'll directly give access to your Google Drives itself. I'll tell you by the time I'll show you how to access those videos. Just a minute. 1 minute, please. Hello. Right, okay. So go to this playlist. There you can access all our videos. As of now, up to 15 to 20 classes I'll upload here. Later I'll directly give access to your Google Drives itself. So whatever Gmail ID you gave, directly you can go and check in your Google Drive itself. You can access those recordings, okay? And give me 1 more minute, please. I just have to check this. Please tell me how can I start practice with Windows Home Edition. Vivek, we have already discussed Windows Home Edition. Generally, you cannot do RDP. Other than that, you can do whatever you want. Like whatever we discussed in the practice, everything you can do. Only difference is just log into the server directly. As RDP not going to work, log into the server directly. Like once you start the VM, right click, right control plus delete. You can log in and you can start practicing as usual. Only difference is you cannot do RDP. Remaining everything is same. Okay, Vivek? Is it clear, Vivek? Done. Right, and what we can do now, still we are getting on and off participants, not sure what happened with them.
Hi, Shanmukh Sona here. You just told me about the notes, right? So is it already sent or you'll be sending it?
It's already shared, Sona, so but not complete notes. Half of the notes is already shared with you.
Okay, is it that 2016 editions that those you're telling, right?
Yes, the same. The one which we are following like for versions, editions. Okay.
Yes, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that one
Okay, I
only.
got it.
Yeah. There is no
Thank you.
separate notes. Only two attachments you'll get it. One is with the software links. Another one is SqlDBA class notes.
Yes, okay, got it.
Okay.
It's a text file, right?
Yes, text file, notepad.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So let's proceed with the installation of SQL Server, guys. Today we'll install SQL Server. Okay, so let's connect to the server first. Then what we'll do, we'll attach the software, and then we are going to continue, guys. Okay, fine. So I'm starting the Oracle VirtualBox Manager. Anyone facing any challenges in setting up the things, RDP and all? Double click on the machine to log into this, to start the VM. I already installed OS on, but now I get a message. I get message it paused. How can I? Okay, very good. Okay, so no issue. Sometimes what we'll do, today morning also someone asked me, sir, I am unable to see the option to add the storage, something like that. This was disabled, something like that. He is saying, he is asking. See, guys, here generally what we'll do once our practice is completed, we'll directly close the machine like this. Okay, what happened? Another record during virtual machine execution, there are details are shown. Okay, let me check. Details unable to allocate lock memory. The virtual machine will be paused. Please close applications to. Okay, so it is saying like unable to allocate memory and all, maybe because of some memory pressure. Let me check the server, my laptop memory. Okay, let me see how much. So in this case, see it was showing like paused, right? In this case it is showing paused. So if the machine is powered off state, you can do the settings, you can do the changes and all to this machine. Okay, if it is showing paused, right click, you can just click on pause again, it is going to be resumed. Okay, like running, it is going to be running, guys. Right click again, pause, it is going to be running. Okay, otherwise what you can do, see again it was paused. Okay, you can stop the VM, you can close it, and you can simply choose power off completely. If you choose power off, then based on the resources, now I have to check what is the problem and all, why it is unable to allocate that much memory. Okay, chalo, let me close Microsoft Teams, because of that it is consuming more memory and all. Let me close it, and I guess I have two windows, so let me close this as well. Okay, so I'm going to free up some memory, guys. See, now it is already using 91 percentage, right? So that's why there is no memory, and I'm going to close this as well. Let me free up some memory so that it will get some memory, and then the machine will start automatically. Okay, and I have to right click on this, I have to end task. I'm not using Teams, right? So in the organization you don't get this kind of issues and all, nothing to worry. In the organization you don't get these kind of issues. Sufficient memory and all will be there, sufficient resources will be there. If there is no sufficient resources and all, you have to troubleshoot in a different way, not like this. Okay, you have to troubleshoot in a different way. I'll tell you in performance tuning and all how to troubleshoot those kind of issues. Just a minute, let me fix this memory issue first. I'm going to kill unused processes and all, so that it will create some memory, and we can continue with the setup and all. Okay, and what other things we can close? Google Chrome 17 Windows, why it is using 17 Windows, not sure. Microsoft software production, let me close this as well. And local desktop security, Microsoft Edge, and task, the search button and task. Again search button and task. Just a minute, I'm just killing some other processes that are not using. So just give me a minute. Let me close this as well. It is still showing 83%. Not sure what is the problem. Chrome, we're not using multiple windows, right? Only 3-4 windows. Let me close this explorers. Okay, what other processes are running? No other processes, right? Okay, let me pause now. Let's see. Right click, pause. So let me see, guys, whether it is going to run it this time. Right, okay. So click OK. Just a minute, guys. Once the machine is ready, then we'll go for a SQL Server installation. Just 1 minute. It is taking time. So can anyone tell me the process to install SQL Server? Can anyone tell me the process to install SQL Server, guys? What process will follow to install SQL Server? So let me log in and check this. What is the IP address and all? First we'll check it and then we'll continue to connect to the server remotely. So 1, 2, 3. I just logged in. So Vivek, you asked right for home edition and all. So directly you have to jump into the server like this, like how I logged into the server now. In the same way, you have to jump into the server. You can use one extra option called install guest editions. Okay, so now if you see, in case, guys, generally you can practice directly like this, but the window will be small. If it is a direct connection, the window will be small. You don't see big window and all. If you don't like this small window, you want to practice with a big window, you have to install guest editions. Okay, what you have to install? Guest editions, guys. From where I can install guest editions? So somewhere you can attach guest editions, I guess. Devices, shared folders, no. Input, keyboard, no. Mouse integration, view. Insert guest edition option will be there, guys. Okay, optical devices.
Class for having insert destinations.
Yeah, got it. Thank you. So you can see here, insert guest edition CD image. You can just click on this. Vivek, those who are using home edition of laptop, they can click on this insert guest edition CD image, so that one software will be attached in the D drive of the server. Okay, D drive of the server. Guest edition softwares will be installed in the D drive of the server. Open D drive. Okay, just right click and run the setup automatically. Okay, full screen, you will get the full screen. Fine, guys. So you cannot connect through RDP. Okay, there is no such option with for Windows Home Edition people. So but still, if you don't like the screen and if you feel uncomfortable with the small screen and all, you can go with insert guest editions. Okay, from here input devices, yeah, insert guest editions image. Once you select this option, in the D drive guest edition software will be attached. Open that guest edition software and you can just double click on the setup file, guest editions. It's very simple. Next install. Okay, so once you installed completely, the window will be like big screen and all, you will get it. Okay, like RDP screen only, you'll get it. Right, fine. So yesterday we discussed about the SQL Server installation process, like what process and all we have to follow. Okay, and first the ticket, the users will raise the ticket initially. Then the ticket will goes to Windows team. Windows team will create a Windows machine and they are going to install operating system. Then they are going to install some prerequisites like .NET framework, some drivers and all. They are going to install Windows team. Network team also will open some ports and all. And storage team, in case if any storage is needed, they are going to add some storage devices to that machine. Once everything is ready, then finally the machine will comes to us. Okay, so what we will do now, listen carefully from the beginning of the step I'm telling you. Okay, first let me check the IP address of this machine. Why it is too slow? What is the reason? 52% is only, right, okay, 192.168.0.10. Chalo, now you got the ticket. Hey DBA team, please install SQL Server 2022 in on Windows Server 192.168.0.10. Like this, you'll get a ticket. Generally, some users will give complete information, some users don't give complete information. In that case, you can see in the ticket who raised the ticket and all. Okay, who raised the ticket, you can see in the ticket, guys. In the ticket information itself, you can see who raised the ticket. So you can directly ping him in the Teams. In the organization, will use Teams as a communicator tool. So we can directly ping him in the tools and we can ask him in case if you feel any information is missing. Okay, if you feel any information is missing, you can directly ping him and you can ask him, guys. There you can see one option called assigned to is our option. Okay, this ticket, who assigned this ticket and all. There is one more option called user. Okay, or else opened for. There is an option called opened for. Okay, so opened for, like this one option will be there. So this kind of field will be there. I'll show you at the end of the classes. Opened for, there you can see the username. You can ping the user directly and you can ask in case if you have any doubts and all, any information is missing and all, you can ask him. For example, he simply gave install SQL Server 2022 on Windows Server. He didn't give this server IP address, guys, or server name. Then where you are going to install SQL Server? Where we will install SQL Server, guys? We should know, right, where we have to install. You should know the target, right? Without knowing the target, how can you install? Where you can install? Lot of servers will be there. Will handle 500 servers, 1000 servers, 2000 servers, 3000 servers. On which server he is asking us to install? So we'll check for the person who raised the ticket. We'll ask him, can you please tell me the server name, or can you please update the ticket with the server name and all, so that he is going to add the server name. So now this is our task. Okay, so now we got the task. Forget about all these things, minimize everything. So now you have to connect, okay, to this server, right? You have to install. Now open MSTSC. Now type the server IP address. Okay, 192.168.0.10. okay, just hit enter. Then it will ask you the password and all. Just give your username and password in the organization. In our case, username is administrator and password is db@123. So now I am able to connect to the server. Chalo. Now I am in the server, guys. Okay, now I am in the server, right? So now what I have to do, I have to install the SQL Server. Yesterday we discussed some hardware and software requirements to install. So hardware requirements means like RAM, storage, your CPU. These are hardware requirements. Software requirements means your SQL Server software, .NET framework, SSMS. These are all your software requirements and all. Now If I want to install any software, I should have that software with me, right? Okay, I want to install the software means I should have that software with me, right? So for that, what we have to do, go to Oracle VirtualBox, go to settings, go to storage, select this option. I have already attached, yesterday itself I have attached. Okay, select, in case if it is showing SQL Server 2019, that's fine. If it is showing SQL Server 20 Windows Server, then you have to change it to SQL Server, guys. So how to do that? Just simply go to that machine, click on this disk image, choose virtual optical disk file, in which location you stored your software, go to that location and just simply choose that software and just click OK. Generally, in our practice, we'll do like this, but in the organization, how we are going to copy the softwares, guys? Can anyone tell me? In the organization, how we will copy the softwares to the server? In the organization, there is no visibility to this platform for us. This will be controlled by the Windows team. The Oracle VirtualBox Manager will be controlled by the Windows team. So you don't see this kind of application in the organization. Simply, you will get the server IP address. You have to connect to the server IP address to that server. Now I want to get the SQL server to this machine. How can I get it?
From the share folder.
Shared folder, using shared location. So you have to ask your colleagues the shared location and all. They are going to give you some shared location. That shared location you have to just type here and you have to click OK. There you can see the shared location folder will open here. Like this, you can see you have to open this folder. In that folder you can see SQL Server 2019 software. That software, don't click here in this folder. Simply you have to copy this folder, or yeah, copy this folder and you have to paste it on your desktop, or you have to paste it in the C drive. Okay, wherever is comfortable. Don't paste anything on the desktop. Generally, whatever things you are going to post on the server desktops, all the desktops will be cleared every day. So if you copied something to the desktop today, tomorrow if you come and check, you don't see any items on the desktop. Why? Because Windows team will automatically run one job and it will clean the desktop for every server. So like this, you have to copy the software. Then chalo, you are ready now. You can directly start installing SQL Server. So go to this PC. We have attached software, right? Open D drive. Now you can see the setup file. This is the initial stage. Okay, this is the initial stage, guys. So open the setup file. Just a minute. Just 1 minute, guys. Just 1 minute. Fine. Just 1 minute. I have to start one more meeting. Just 1 minute. So now in the meantime, what we can do, right click on the setup file, just choose, always choose run as administrator. Again, I am saying you have to choose, always you have to use every application. How can I came to know this is the application? I can see lot of files here. How do I came to know this is the application? See, the type of file type is application. Listen carefully. Remember, this is very important point. If any application related files are there, always habituate to open that file as run as administrator, so that in case if any extra permissions are needed, then that file will open and it will run smoothly. If you, we can directly double click on it. Okay, we can directly double click on it, but the challenge is, okay, but the challenge is sometimes you might get errors. Sometimes you might get errors. Okay, so to avoid such kind of errors, always it's good practice to open setup file with run as administrator mode. Okay, so now the file is opening. Let's wait for a minute. It will take 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes to open the file. Right, now you can see, right? So now you can see here, this is called installation center. When you open setup file, this installation center will open. When you open setup file, this installation center will open. Installation center will help you to install the SQL server and to do lot of other things also. Sir, I want to see complete hardware and software requirements. Can you show me? See the first video. If you click on this first video, you can see what are the exact software and hardware requirements and all. Okay, so like this there are different options here, so don't worry guys. In the first day itself we don't touch all these things. Slowly we'll touch one by one. So for upgradations we have to select a different option. Okay, for SQL server cluster installations we have to select different options. So slowly we are going to touch one by one guys. Okay, don't worry, don't expect everything we can complete in a single class. No, in this class I will show you how to install SQL server. In near class, in future classes and all, we'll slowly touch one option, so that you will get to know the installation center and all. Okay, you'll get to know about the installation center. Just 1 minute, please don't mind. Right, okay, fine. This is your installation center, and you can see installation. These are called pages, guys. What is this? Pages. You can see page. This is one page, planning page, installation page, maintenance page, tools, resources, advanced options. Like this we have different pages. Right, go to installation page and choose new SQL server standalone installation. What is standalone installation? Standalone installation means if you are installing directly on the server on a single virtual machine, if you are installing direct on a single virtual machine, so that installation is called standalone. Means this is a standalone server. Okay, now the server, what you can see, this is a standalone server. Means one server, one single server. Standalone means single, guys. Very simple. Standalone means single. I am installing SQL server only on a single machine, right? So that's why this is called a standalone installation. Other than this, what other installations will be there? Cluster installations. Cluster installation means installing SQL server on a group of servers. So that is cluster installation. That will be discussed during HADR concepts. So now go to this machine and choose standalone. I am installing SQL server on a standalone machine, right? So choose that option, standalone machine. Right, so the setup file will open, guys. Right, so now which edition I want to install? I want to install developer edition, right? If you want to install any other free edition, if you want to install any other free edition, you can select this one. You can see this is just free. Specify a free edition that you want to install. Evaluation edition is free, as we discussed. Developer is free and Express is also free. So that's why in the free edition you can see these three options. Okay, I'm going to install developer edition. Throughout our practice we'll use developer edition only. Okay, throughout our practice we are going to use developer edition only, right? So now what we have to do here, options.
Very sorry for the delay. I was just got network issue.
Fine.
Before we start, I would like to confirm.
Right, fine, so forget about guys, so that is for different class, right? So if you want to install a free edition, choose this option. So in this you can select either developer or Express or your evaluation edition. I want to install developer, right? So developer. In case if you want to install a paid edition, like standard edition is a paid edition, and what is that, guys? Enterprise edition is a paid edition. So you have to get the keys from your manager. Key will be there. Okay, you have to select this option. You have to enter the key here so that you can install your enterprise or standard edition, guys. Okay, so if you want to install free edition, choose this option. If you want to install paid edition, choose this option. Here you have to give software key. In the organization we will have one vault kind of thing. There we can get the keys and all, and you have to check with your lead or manager. He will help you to get the key. You can add the key here so that you can install the SQL Server, guys. Okay, I mean standard and enterprise edition. So now I am going to install free edition, right? Choose developer edition. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to choose developer edition. Fine. So next I have to accept. Okay, every software generally you have to accept the license terms. Okay, I accept. Next. Now what it will do, before installing SQL Server, always listen carefully. Let me go back. I can go back. So these are the checks, guys. While installing SQL Server, this installation center, this setup file will check whether this Windows machine is suitable to install SQL Server or not. So it will run these checks. If all the checks are passed, that means we can install SQL Server. There is no issue with the machine. And warning, sometimes you will get some warnings also. I'll show you in future, like in the next screens and all, you will get warning symbol. Warning also fine, no issues, we can proceed to install. But some checks will be failed, guys. Some checks will be failed. See here, operation completed, passed 8 checks. Failed, there are no failed checks, 0. There are no warning checks, 0. There are no skipped checks, 0. Okay, so it's not mandatory that all should be like passed only. Passed means green check, failed means red mark. Warning means triangle warning symbol will be there. Skipped means one one symbol will be there. I kind of symbol will be there. Okay, so I means alphabetical I, alphabet I. So now if any of the check is failed, as a DBA we have to fix the check first and then we have to proceed to install. Okay, sometimes always remember, always it's best practice to reboot the Windows machine to before installing SQL Server. Okay, always it's best practice, guys, before and after SQL Server installation, before and after also. Before and after SQL Server installation, you have to reboot the Windows machine. Why? Because Windows people will install different softwares and all. Okay, so some softwares we have to restart the server to take effect, but they don't restart it. They will simply hand over it to a DBA team. So sometimes this check will be failed. Restart computer check will be failed. How to troubleshoot that one? How to troubleshoot? If restart computer check is failed, how you are going to troubleshoot?
Restart the system by restarting the machine.
That's it. Very simple. You have to restart the server. That's it. And you have to try again. You have to cancel this setup. Restart. I hope you know how to restart the server. Same like your laptop. So power button. Restart power. Restart. While restarting, make sure choose restart only. By mistake, when you are touching the laptop with wet hands and all, by mistake, instead of restart, shutdown will be selected. Both will get same options. Even though you restart also, you'll get same window. Even though you shut down also, you'll get same option. So be careful while restarting. Double check before restarting. Okay, make sure that you are selecting the proper option. Why? Because I told you, right, as a DBA will never shut down any Windows machine. If you shut down the Windows machine by mistake, that will be your last day in the organization. Okay, so never ever will shut down. There is no such activities to DBA. Only right now we are doing installations, right? Before and after installation we have to restart. So there are some scenarios while doing installations, while doing patchings, while doing upgradations. There are some scenarios that we will restart the server, but there is no scenario that we are going to shut down the server in the organization. So you forget about the shutdown button in the organization. Never ever touch the shutdown button. Right, so what we have to do, we have to cancel the setup and we have to restart the laptop, sorry, server, not laptop, and then you can again start installing SQL Server. So these are the checks, guys. Next, we don't need any updates. Why? Because after SQL Server installation, I'll show you what kind of updates are there, how to apply the updates, what is meant by patching. We'll discuss all these things. Currently, I don't want to add any kind of updates while installing. So if I select this option, whatever recent updates are there, SQL Server will install first, then automatically the updates also will be installed. So that's how, that is the meaning of this option. So I am not going to allow automatic option. Why? Because for this we need internet connection to the server. Now I have internet connection, no issues, but in the organization we don't have any internet connection, right? So without internet connection, how it can download the updates? It cannot, right? So that's why we don't use this option in the organization. It is saying just Microsoft update. Do you want me to install with Microsoft updates? No, not required. Okay, just go next. One minute, it's loading. Right, okay. So now you can see again it's running some checks. So you can see what and all. See warning symbol kind like this. You can see warning symbols. Warning symbols you can ignore, guys. No issues and all. So if any check is failed, even one check is failed also, it won't allow us to proceed, guys. Okay. Even though if one check is failed, all checks, either in the previous screen also 8 checks are there, right? All checks should be passed, or warning is fine, or skipped is fine. But even out of 8 checks, if one check is failed, we cannot proceed. You have to fix the check and you have to proceed, guys. Okay, so now 3 checks, 3 are success and 1 is warning. That's fine, no issues, we can proceed. Right, now here earlier we discussed in the class, we discussed the components of SQL Server. Okay, so when you install SQL Server, while installing SQL servers, or when you buy SQL Server softwares, you will get multiple components. Okay, you will get multiple components. Out of these components, Okay, main components are database engine, which is the heart of the SQL server, like a car engine. Heart of the SQL server. Database engine is the heart of the SQL server. That's where your SQL server will run. Next, bits components like SSAS SQL Server Analysis Services, SSRS SQL Server Reporting Services, SSIS SQL Server Integration Services. These services are called BIDS components. BIDS means what? Business Intelligence Development Studio. So for business analysts and all, they will ask us to install these components also. So these are the main components of the SQL Server, guys. So not in every case will install bits, guys. Rarely will install SSAS. AS means analysis services, SQL Server analysis services. Okay, SSRS means reporting services, SQL Server reporting services. SSIS means SQL Server integration services. Okay, SSIS means SQL Server integration services. So these are very easy. Analysis services will be used for analyzing the data, analyzing the reports and all. Reporting services will be used to report the data and all. Like we can report, like we can create beautiful reports and all, like Excel. Integration services will help you to integrate the data between sources like Excel to SQL Server. We can load the data, SQL Server to Excel, SQL Server to Notepad, Notepad to SQL Server. So we can load the data and all. For example, if you go to any towns, villages and all, some people, okay, will come and they will collect some data, right? Some volunteers and all, they will come and they will collect their data. Where they are going to collect the data and all, they are going to collect in a notepad or they will collect in the Excel sheet. But at the end of the day, if they want to analyze the data, they cannot analyze with Excel sheet, right? So they want to upload the whole Excel sheet into the database. So how can we upload? How can we integrate? If we have integration services, we can integrate Excel sheet into the database so that Excel sheet data will be loaded inside the database using integration services. So these three services are called bits. Bits is a separate concept, separate course, guys. Those who are trying for business analyst and all, they have to learn these bits. We don't touch these bits and all. I'll just show you how to install these components. That's it. We have to select the components. That's it. We can install the components. As a DBA, we are limited to install the components. In some organizations, they might ask you, do you have experience in SSRS? Do you have experience in SSAS? Tell them, as a DBA, I can install and I can configure, but I never worked on SSRS, AS and IS. You can straight away tell them, no issues. This is not our zone. This is a separate zone. Right? Fine. So now these are the components, right? So in these components, there are two sections. One is specific features. This one. Okay. So let me show you. Let me check. Right. And this is the server, right? This is the server. Where is my server? This is the server, right? So you can see two zones here. Okay. So this zone is called specific services. And if you see this zone, shared services. Okay. If you go down, you can still see shared services. Okay. If you see, this is your specific services, this box up to here. Okay. Up to here, these are specific services. And from here, shared services. So what is specific, what is shared, what is the difference between specific and shared? Let's discuss. Okay. Right. So specific means very simple. If you are staying in a PG, what are the specific things, guys? You are staying in one PG or hostel, whatever it may be. You are staying in a PG. So in PG, specific things will be there that belongs to you. Specific means that belongs to you only, belongs to a specific person. Specific things will be there. Shared things also will be there, right? So tell me, if you are staying in a PG, what and all your specific things?
About bed.
Bed is your specific, very good. Your mobile phone is your specific thing. Your laptop is your specific thing. The plates and all, the plates, glasses, whatever you are using to eat, to drink, those are all your specific things, right? Correct, guys? If another person, if any new person comes, again he'll get his mobile phone, he'll get his laptop, he'll get his plates, he'll get his glasses, everything specific to him, right? What are the shared features in the PG, guys? What are the shared features in the PG? What kind of shared features will be there in the PG?
Washing
Electric
network.
Internet, very good. Washing machine, TV, okay, right? Internet, washing machine, TV. These are all shared features. Means even though if 10 people came to the PG, the same internet you have to use, same washing machine you have to use, same TV you have to use, correct? Right, guys? Is it clear? So shared features will be installed only at once. In the PG, that PG owner will buy only 1 or 2 washing machines per floor, okay, 1 or 2 TVs per floor or per room. So shared features will be installed only at once. Is it clear? Is this point clear, everyone? Is it clear, guys? Shared features will be installed only at once. If any new person comes to PG, again they don't install separate TV, separate Wi-Fi, separate washing machine and all. Already it's already there. You have to utilize the existing features, right? Specific features depends upon the number of students. Okay, so here students means instances. Instance, we'll get to know one new word called instance. What is meant by instance, guys? Instance means one SQL Server copy is called one instance. One SQL Server copy is called one instance. As a DBA, we don't call SQL servers as servers. We'll call SQL servers as SQL instances. Instance means one SQL Server copy is called one instance. Like that, how many copies I can install in one Windows machine? How many, important interview question, how many copies I can install in one Windows machine? Can anyone tell me? How many SQL servers I can install in one Windows machine?
50.
50, 50, okay. 49 plus 1. I'll tell you what is this plus 1. 50 instances I can install, okay. 50 instances I can install. 1 plus 49. So that 1 is called your default instance. I'll tell you about this default instance and all, and remaining 49 named instances. Okay, right, chalo. Means 50 people can stay in that PG. Imagine if this server is a PG, in this PG 50 people can stay in that PG. Okay, so shared features are there, right? So while installing specific features, for sure you have to choose database engine. I told you, right? Database engine is the heart of the SQL server. Without database engine, nothing will work. So database engine you have to choose. Replication is a feature that will be used to replicate the tables. So that also you have to choose. These are extra services, guys. If customer is asking, sir, how do I know what features I have to choose? Okay, in the organization, while installing SQL Server, there is a sheet called build sheet. In that build sheet, this build sheet have to be filled by customer, like those who are requesting for SQL Server installation. He has to fill this build sheet, and he will tell you all the details, like what and all components they need to install. Some people, they might ask only SQL Server. In that case, you have to choose database engine, replication and full text. Only these 3 components, specific components you have to choose. Some people will ask Can you please install R also? Then simply choose R. Some people will ask, I told you, right, analysis services. Simply you have to select analysis services. That's it. If they are asking for integration services, simply you have to choose integration services. That's it. Okay. So like this, you have to install SSIS, SSRS and all. For SSRS, actually earlier, before 2016, SSRS is also a component in this list, but from 2019 onwards SSRS is separated. So again you have to download it SSRS separately from Google using this option, and then you can install SSRS. Okay, so forget about SSRS, IS and AS. So these are the main specific features that you have to install. Like I told you, right, when you are into the PC, you will carry your mobile phone, you will carry your mobile laptop, and you will carry your charger and all whatever specific things are there. Like this, these are very important specific features. For every instance, for sure we have to choose these three specific features. Shared features only for the first time. Imagine if anyone set up a new PC, initially he will buy washing machine, he will buy TVs, and he will buy what is that guy? What is that guy? What is that? Washing machine, TV, Wi-Fi and all. Okay, initially only he will buy. Later he don't buy it. Even though if next time if you are trying to install second instance, only you have to choose these features. No need to choose shared features. Why? Because shared features will be installed only once per machine. So what shared features you have to choose? Wherever you can see client, choose all the client shared features. Client tools connectivity, client tools backward compatibility, client tools SDK, SQL client connectivity SDK. These are the common shared features that we will use in the organization. Next time if you are installing second instance, you don't see these options. These will be grayed out. Why? Because I told you, right, these shared features will be installed only once per whole Windows machine. But the specific features you can install 50 times. 50 database engines you can install in one Windows machine. Like 50 people in a hostel, in a PG. So even though one person is there, or two people are there, or 10 people are there, still shade features are same. So second time no need to select any shade features, guys. Clear? Any questions, please? Any questions?
Hello, Shamukh, it's clear.
Yes. Done. Thank you. Thanks for responding. Right now, where I'm going to install this files and all, I'm going to, as of now, I'll install in this C drive. Later I'll show you. We will use different drives during cluster configuration and all. There I'll show you. If you want to install these files in separate drives, simply you have to change the drive letter. Instead of C, you have to change it to D or E, something, whatever drives are available. Okay. Right. Now go to next. Right. Now hardly 3-4 extra terminologies will be there, right? There only you will feel kind of okay heaviness. Remaining all, everything is very simple. When you go and check the video, SQL Server installation is next and install, that's it. Okay, but you have to know each and every terminology, each and every word meaning, and also that next time while installing you will be very confident and you can install it. Okay, so the installation and all will be very smooth. So that's why we are learning from very basics. Chalo, now the next screen is type of instance. So you can see there are two types of instances. Instance means again SQL Server. Two types of instances. Okay, one is default instance. Second one is named instance. So what is the difference between default and named? Default will always take computer name as a server name. Okay, so functionality wise there is no difference between default and named instance. There is no such kind of rules that you have to install default instance for the first time or you have to install named instance for the first time. There is no such rules. You can install any instance, either default or named. Features wise, there is no difference also. Then what is the difference between default and named? Only difference, how you are connecting. Default instance, you have to give a computer name to connect. Default instance, generally it will take computer name as it's a name, as the instance name. Imagine, I just now I told you 50 people can stay in this server, like 50 instances. So if I want to connect to any specific instance, I should know the name of the instance, right? If only one instance, no issues, I'll use the single instance. But if I am having 50 instances maximum, generally in the organization we don't install 50, maximum 50 we can install, but hardly 2 3 4, generally only one instance per only one Windows server. But sometimes you can see 2 instances, 3 instances, or up to 5 instances. No one will install 10 20 instances. Why? Because it is going to consume lot of memory, CPU, which will create some performance issues and all. Chalo. So now 50 people can install in this machine. So I should know the name of the instance, right? To which instance I want to connect and all. So generally default instance will take the name of the Windows machine. Default instance will take the name of the Windows machine. Whatever Windows machine name is there, that default instance will take it automatically. Named instance, you have to give separate name. That is the only difference between default and named. But I can install only one default instance. Okay, default instance only once per machine, but named up to 49 I can install. Can anyone tell me why only one default instance I can install? Any idea? Any idea? Only one default instance I can install. Guess it, guys. Guess it.
Machine can have only one name.
Very good. Only one computer name will be there. So default instance will always take the computer name. So only one computer name will be there. So this computer name will be attached to that particular instance. So in case if you install second default instance, what name you will give? For default instance, you cannot give any name manually, right? So that's why only one default instance we can install the Windows machine. Then I have a quick question for all of you. Try to respond. Now I am installing SQL Server 2019. Okay. So can I install 2019 default instance and 2022 default instance? Both are different versions, right? Can I install? Just try it, guys. No issues. Inky Pinky Ponky also no problem. So you can use yes, we can install. You can type your answer as yes. If you cannot install, type your answer as no. Type your answers in the chat, guys. I'm waiting. Can we install two default instances of two different versions? Right. Okay. So the answer is those who said yes, it's wrong answer. Okay. Those who said no, it's a correct answer, guys. Okay. So very simple. Very simple. Imagine in your home if two people are there with the same name, for example, his name is something Akshay, let it be. So his name is Akshay. So in your home, two Akshays are there. So if you call Akshay, who will respond? What is the best case and what is the worst case here? If you call just Akshay, who will respond? Best case is both people will respond. Worst case is no one will respond. Right? Right? In the same way, if we have two default instances in the same Windows machine, while connecting, you will give computer name, right? So if one name is already allocated to this instance, so can I allocate again same name to another instance? Is it going to allow me? If it is allocated, somehow it's allocated, but while connecting to this instance, you will give computer name. Then to which instance it will connect? It will connect to 2019 or 2022?
2019.
No, don't. First of all, you cannot install at all, right? So I'm telling you, like, in case if you are able to install, if you are able to install 2019 default, if you are able to install 2022 default in the same Windows machine, okay, if you are trying to connect to the SQL server using computer name, to which instance it will connect, to 2019 or 22? It cannot connect to any instance. Why? Because it cannot detect, first of all. So that's why it is not allowed to install two default instances or more than one default instance in a machine. So any version, only one default instance you can install. Any version, only one default instance you can install. You cannot install multiple default instances. Clear why we can install only one default instance? Everyone, is it clear why we can install only one default instance? Is it clear, everyone? Any questions? No questions, guys? Are we good? Right, okay. Fine. Then that's fine. Okay. No questions, miss. That's good. Right, let me go to the Windows machine. Right, now let's discuss about the named instance. So if you choose named instance, what type of what kind of name you have to give, what name you have to give. So that is also very important, guys. So if you choose named instance, there is a criteria, guys. You have to select that there is no possibility to identify the server. Yes, yes, Raghava. Right, okay. So if you choose named instance, you have to give the name. So name, generally you can give any name, there is no specific rule, but don't give, okay, different names and all, Rashi, Kanna, Katrina, Kaif, don't give such kind of names, okay. So it should be reflect the business name, the application name and all. You cannot give different names and all. So generally, who will decide the names? This also will be decided by your application owner. So I told you, right, he will give build sheet. In that build sheet, he will update you what type of name you want to give. Okay, so based on the build sheet, so these kind of inputs you can get it from the build sheets, guys. These kind of inputs you will get it from the build sheets. So verify the build sheet whether instance name is mentioned or not. Generally instance name will be as per the application name. So you can give any name, but again some specific conditions are there. You have to meet those conditions. Instance name should always starts with the alphabets. Named instance, okay, instance name should always starts with alphabets. You cannot give numbers and all, like you can include numbers but not in the beginning. Okay, one SQL server like this, it's wrong name. SQL server 1 you can give, SQL server 1 you can give. Why? Because you have to start with alphabets only. This is one rule. Second thing, it cannot be more than 16 characters. The instance name cannot be more than 16 characters. Instance name don't accept any special characters other than dollar and underscore. Only these two. Only these two special characters it will allow you in the instance name, guys. So now tell me, is it a valid name?
No.
Why?
Dollar is first.
Sorry?
We need to
Okay. So dollar, it started with dollar. It shouldn't start with special characters. It shouldn't start. Please be muted. Getting a lot of disturbance, please. So it shouldn't start with special characters, numbers and all. It should start with okay, with the alphabet. So you can include dollar here. Okay, you can include dollar here, or you can include underscore here. Can I give instance name like this? Why? Space is also a special character. Okay, so if you see here, space is there, right? Space is also a special character, so you cannot give space and all. Okay, you cannot give space and all while installing while giving SQL Server instance name. These are the main three rules, guys. Okay, main three rules. Chalo, let me go to this. I'm going to install. I have a quick question for all of you. Try to respond. No problem. Yes or no is fine. Once if I install a default instance, later can I change it to named instance? Is it going to allow me? I installed a default
Yes,
instance.
we
Later, yes, we can. Tell me, guys. No problem. You can tell your answer also. No issues. You can tell your answer also. Yes or no? Can we change it to named instance, or if we install a named instance, can we change it to default instance? Vice versa. Guess it. Guess it. Guess it.
yes,
Yes, no, yes, 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 skibidi, skibidi, skibidi. Okay, right. Yes, it might allow. Fine. Right. So the answer is no. Okay, the answer is no. You don't allow. Once you install default instance, it's default instance only. If you want to install named instance, you have to install one more named instance. So default cannot be converted as named cannot be converted into default. That is not possible. Okay, next. Right, this is the very important screen. Okay, main terminology also. After this you don't see big terminologies and all. Listen carefully. Service account. What is the service account? What it will do? Okay, what is the service account? What it will do? Let's discuss. Right. Okay, so let me open drive so that you will be cleared with this topic. Very important. Service account. Service account is an account which helps to run the service. Service account is an account which helps to run the service. So can you tell me what is the use of the SQL Server? Why we are using SQL Server, guys? What is meant by SQL Server?
Data to retrieve the data and to
Right. The basic definition, initially we discussed one definition. So what is the definition, guys? SQL Server is an RDBMS software which will be used to store the data, to process the data, to retrieve the data. Storing, processing, retrieving. Okay, so these are the three main important terminologies. So imagine this is your SQL Server, or let's go like this. Okay. This class will extend for the next 20 minutes, so please bear with me. Okay. Right. This is your SQL Server. So yes. Kumar. Kumar. Right. Okay. So this is the SQL Server. Imagine this is my Windows machine. This is my Windows machine. This is the SQL Server. Very big SQL Server. Okay. Now this is fine. SQL Server will be used to store the data. Where you can store the data? Where we can store, guys? The hard disk only, right? Where we can store the data? The hard disk only, right? Okay. Disk drive. Yeah, this is fine. This is my hard disk. Okay. So this is my hard disk. You want to store the data. From where you are getting the data? From where you are getting the data? From the application. Gear symbol. Okay. So this is your application. Very simple, very simple. Okay, nothing to worry. I'm trying to visualize the things. That's it. Okay, make you to visualize the things, so that I'm drawing all these things. So this is my application. So my application is like, imagine, what is this application, guys? Swiggy. Okay, Swiggy. So this is my application. Right. From the application, I'm getting the data to the SQL Server. In the SQL Server, we'll have databases and all. Right. From this application, I'm getting data to the SQL Server. SQL Server means it cannot store, right, directly. It will use hard disk to store the data. Right. So it will write the data to the disk. As discussed, it will write the data. First, what you will do? First, what you will do, guys? First, generally, what you will do? First, you want to eat something. Don't know what you want to eat. Generally, if you open Swiggy and Zomato, not sure how you people are going to choose the items. Okay, but for me, it will take a lot of time. I will forget for what reason I opened Swiggy or Zomato. Not sure what I have to eat and all. Okay, so right now, first what you will do, guys? You will search the data, right? What and all items are there? You will search. Means you are going to read the data. Okay, from the hard disk, you will read the data. First, SQL Services software will be helpful to you. This software will help us to retrieve the data, to store, process, and retrieve. So first, what you will do? You will read the data from the hard disk, and you can see on the screen, application screen. You can see on the application screen. So as I told you, SQL Server will be used to store the data. Right? For example, you ordered one biryani, one Suresh biryani from Magana. Okay, so this is the record. So you just ordered one food, right? So this record will go like this, like this, like this, and from that SQL Server will directly go to the disk. How it is going to store in the disk, guys? Someone has to write this data, right? How the data will be stored in the disk directly? Or how you are able to get the biryani order, or else how you are able to see the data directly? Means someone is reading on behalf of SQL Server. Someone is writing on behalf of SQL Server. Who is that? That guy is called service account. Who is that, guys? Who is that guy? He is called a service account. Service account is an account which will help you to run the service on behalf of SQL Server. SQL Server cannot directly jump into the drive and it cannot write the data or read the data. Okay, on behalf of SQL Server, one worker, one assistant will be there. This assistant will read the data from the disk. This assistant will write the data to the disk. Is it clear, service account? Is it clear, guys? What is service account?
Yes.
So SQL Server generally it will run as a service, guys. Okay, SQL Server generally how it is going to run? It will run as a service. Okay, so it will run as a service. So SQL Server, any software, not only SQL Server, any software, if you see antivirus software and all, okay, all the softwares generally it will run as a service. This service will take the help of service account, and service account, if it is a read operation, it will read the data from the disk and it will give it to SQL Server. If it is write operation, service will tell to the service account, hey, this is write operation. Then this account will log into this drive and he will write the data. Sometimes SQL Server will be failed if this drive doesn't have read and write operations. Why? Because is not a valid account. He don't have read and write. If he cannot read and write the disk to the disk and from the disk, SQL Server service cannot start. If SQL Server service cannot start, application will be down. So service account is very crucial component in the SQL Server. It will help you to run the services. It will read the data from the disk. It will write the data to the disk. These are the main advantages of the service accounts. Fine, guys. So in this screen there are some virtual service accounts, default service accounts, customized service accounts. Now I am not going to change any service account. I'll keep it as it is. Next session I'll show you how to change the service account. Why? Because after installation also we can change the service account. You should know, right, how to change the service account. Later if someone comes to you, hey, can you please change the service account, you should know, right, how to change it. So initially I'll install with this service account. These are the default service accounts, okay, virtual service accounts we can say. So in the next session I'll show you how to change the service account, how to create the service accounts and all. Guys, are we good? Is it clear?
Yes, Shanmugh, it's clear for me.
Yeah, it's clear.
Fine, chalo. Then next is collation. Why people are dropping then? Is it boring, guys?
No, not boring.
Okay. So this is like your collation settings, means language settings, guys. Generally when you install any software you will select language settings, right? If you install any application in your phone also you will choose language settings. Okay, so like SQL Server is also a software, so here we'll generally use a Latin language. Latin means an English language only. Like how our Indian languages came from Sanskrit, English language came from Latin language. So this is the default collation settings, means language settings: SQL, Latin 1, General, CP1, CI, AS. CP1 means code page 1, code page 1. CI means case insensitive. Any case you can enter the data, you can insert the data, uppercase, lowercase, no matter, case insensitive. If you give case sensitive CS, then it will allow only one case, either uppercase or lowercase. AS, accent sensitive. Okay, AS means accent sensitive. So this is common general collation settings, language settings. Collation means language, Nini. That's it, very simple. Collation means language settings. So no, I don't want to use this language setting. I want to install Chinese language. I like Chinese very much. If you feel like that, you can go and select and you can choose your language, Chinese. We can have Bengali, like we have Bosnian language, Arabic language, Chinese language, Czech language, okay, French language, Hungarian language, Japanese language. Unfortunately, you don't see Hindi and all here. Okay, so like this, you'll see different languages. Okay, so these are all different languages. So for example, if you go and check Chinese websites, you can see data in Chinese language, right? As they are inserting Chinese language in the database, as they're inserting Chinese language in their database, so I can see Chinese text in the websites. If you see Hindi websites, they are inserting Hindi text and all. So it is allowing, guys, if you choose different language settings, it will allow you to insert the data in that language. General language settings are English language. So if you don't want to change, you can keep it as it is. So one more quick question for all of you. Can I change the language settings after installation? Is it going to allow me to change the collation settings after installation?
You can.
Yes, we can.
Okay, then the answer is not exactly we can, it's not a good practice. So collation settings, we can change it somehow by changing the binaries, but that's not a good practice. That's not a recommended practice from Microsoft. The answer is there is no a straight way to change the collation settings. We can change it in another way, but that's not a recommended practice. So the answer is no, we cannot change the collation settings. But in the interview, they will ask, are you sure? Are you really sure that we cannot change? Then tell them we can change it by changing the binaries and all, but that's not a recommended practice. Okay, so collation settings we can change it, but that's not a recommended practice. So then customer will ask, if I need collation settings with a new collation settings and all, very simple, uninstall the SQL Server, install SQL Server, the new collation settings, take the backup of the databases and restore it. That's it. Now, authentication screen. Actually, we have a separate session on authentication security, SQL Server security, how SQL Server maintain the security, to whom we can give access, permissions, roles, different things we'll discuss in security concept. There is a separate concept called security. I guess it will take 2-3 classes to complete. So there we'll discuss about the security. I'll explain about authentication, everything, authentication, authorization, login, user, everything we'll discuss. As of now, someone should be there to connect to the SQL Server. Okay, you have to add one account to connect to the SQL Server. Remember, which accounts you are going to add in this section, those accounts only can connect to SQL Server. Later I can give permissions to others, but initially what and all accounts you will add here in this section, only those people can allow, those people are going to connect to the guys, is my audio clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Clear.
Okay, just check
It's
your
clear.
yeah, okay, okay. So Nini, just check your sound drivers once, okay, or else check your volume and all. So still, if you're having issue, let me know, okay. So now is it clear, Nini, for you? Okay, fine, no issues. So in this section, not everyone can connect to SQL servers. Why? Because SQL Server, lot of sensitive data will be stored, like your salaries data, everything. Just example I'm giving. So lot of sensitive data information will be stored in the SQL Server. So it's not like everyone. It's not a kind of a public place. Okay, everyone can come and access. Not like that. So we should secure as a SQL Server DBA. We have to provide security to the database and safety to the database. So how we can secure? By restricting the access to others. How you can restrict access to others? By adding the respective people, those who are in need, those who should need the access, for them only I'll give access. So if I want to give access, first of all, I should connect to the SQL Server, right? So what and all accounts you will add here, they only can connect to the SQL servers initially. Once I connected to the SQL server, I can give access to others also. So at least one account you have to add here. Otherwise, you cannot proceed to install. Later, we'll use this account. It will act as a key to open the SQL server. So we'll use this account, and by using this account, we can connect to SQL server. I'll show you while connecting so that you will get an idea. And by using this account, I can connect to SQL server, and I can allow others to come inside the SQL server. So this is how the authentication will do. There are two types of authentication, Windows and mixed. The difference between these two will be discussed after like in the security sessions and all. One more quick question. If I install SQL server with Windows authentication, later can I change it to mixed mode authentication? Guess
Yes,
it.
we can change.
No problem.
We
Guess
can.
it. So
I
I
can
asked
change.
I asked this type of questions like 3 or 4 questions. Guess it. No problem. If it is Windows, can I change it to mixed, or if it is mixed, can I change it to Windows later after installation? Let's see. So answer is yes, we can change it, but we have to restart the SQL server to take effect. Okay, fine guys. Chalo. Data directories, in which data drives you are going to store your data. I have only one drive, which is C drive, so there is no point, there is no meaning of other drives, there is no other drives to give. So everything I'll store in the C drive only, so keep it as it is. For log directory, I'll create a log folder so that all the log files will be stored in the log folder. So I'll tell you what is meant by log file, what is meant by data file, what is meant by binaries, everything we'll discuss. Okay, slowly we'll discuss the internals of SQL server, you don't worry. TempDB, I'll tell you what is TempDB and all during system databases discussion. There we'll discuss about this TempDB. MaxDop will discuss in the performance tuning. Memory will discuss in the performance tuning. File stream will be used to store the video content data like Netflix, Amazon Prime. So this kind of video streaming data we can store using file stream option. So we are not going to store any video content data, and also no need to enable. Go to next, and we came to the end of the screen guys. So that's it. Listen carefully now. Actually SQL server don't understand, or Windows machine don't understand the GUI. So what it will do, it will create whatever options we have selected, it will create one command, and it will keep it inside one folder, one file called configuration file.ini. Okay guys. Okay, so SQL server, or forget about SQL server, Windows machine don't understand GUI. GUI is only for our easy, yeah, like easiness and all, for our convenient GUI will use. But Windows machine don't know what is GUI. At the end of the day, whatever options we have selected, it will 1 minute, just 1 minute. Hello Sudarshan. Just a minute guys, just 1 minute. Okay, just 1 minute. Mm, 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 mm. Right, okay, sorry for that. Fine. So your Windows machine don't understand what and all options we have selected and all. At the end of the day, this installation center, this setup file, whatever setup file is there, this setup file actually will prepare a query to install SQL Server. That query in which file it will be stored, guys? In configuration file.ini. So when I click install, your Windows machine will call this file into the command prompt, and then it is going to start inputting all these values, whatever we have selected. It will take all the values from that configuration file.ini, and then it will install the SQL Server, guys. So this is the process of installing SQL Server. So we just initiated the SQL Server installation. It will take 10 to 15 minutes to complete the installation based on the server size and all. So if you want, you can wait and watch, guys. Okay, I'll be in mute. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, I won't be available. I'll come after the installation. I have to show you one thing. It don't take much time, guys, believe me. Otherwise, you can take a break and come back also, no issues. Just want to show you one thing, that how to identify whether SQL Server is successfully installed or not. That point I want to add once installation is done after 10-15 minutes. So I'll tell you how to identify whether successfully installed or not, how we can confirm that SQL Server is successfully installed or not. This will be discussed after 10 minutes of this installation. Once this is completed successfully, I'll show you guys how to verify. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions, you can ask me. This is 2019 installation. So tomorrow I'll show you how to install Management Studio. That is one tool. So we just installed server. We don't have client. Every application will have client and server architecture. Every application will have client server architecture. Client is one application, will help us to connect to the server. So tomorrow we'll install SSMS client. Okay. So using that SSMS, we can connect to the SQL Server. Okay. So those who already know the process, like how to install, how to verify and all, you can drop. So others, you can wait here, guys, for 10 to 15 minutes. Once this is done, I'll show you how to confirm. Okay, then you can drop. Only installation class is lengthy, that's why it will take time, so don't mind. Tomorrow onwards, like 1.5 hour, whatever topics are there, it might be 1.5 hour, or it might be 1 hour 20 minutes, or it might be 1 hour 40 minutes also. So based on the topics, we'll proceed from tomorrow onwards. Okay, installation is a big class. I cannot break today something, tomorrow something. It's not good. Okay, you have to learn completely so that you can start installing SQL Server and all. Okay, any questions? If you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll take a small break and I'll come back, guys.
No, Shanmugh, it's fine.
Okay. Right, okay. So guys, can you see my screen? Let me check how many of you are there. Okay, 22 people are there, that's fine. Fine, okay, so let me go to the server. So if you see here, whatever components we have selected, okay, full text, database engine, replication, browser, writer, client tools, backward compatibility, client tools connectivity, client tools SDK, SQL client connectivity. Okay, so all the components are successfully installed, guys. This is how you have to verify, okay, whether installation is successful or not. If you see here, details, it is showing install successful. So make sure whatever components are there here, everything is green color. Green checks means successful installation. If any component is failed to install, you can see red color here. You can see red color here, guys. You can see red color here. So that means that you can see the status also failed. So failed to install and all like that. So this is how you have to verify whether all the components are successfully installed or not. And you can see there is a file called summary file, which is a log file. If you click on this link, you can see this log file will be opened automatically, notepad. So in this notepad you can see, okay, whether the final result is passed or not. If final result is passed, your installation is succeeded, guys. Sometimes you can see final result is failed, cancelled, okay, failed with errors, succeeded with errors. This kind of status you can see, that means SQL Server is not installed properly. So this is one file. They will ask in the interview how you are going to verify whether SQL Server is installed successfully or not. I can verify using summary.txt file. What is this file called? Summary.txt file. In the summary.txt file, we can see the final result. If it is showing a pass, the SQL Server is successfully installed. And in the last screen, the end of the installation, we can see what under components are successfully installed, what components are failed to install. Based on that, we can troubleshoot and we can fix that issue. So this is how you have to answer the interview question, guys. That's it. Thanks for your time. So take care, guys. Tomorrow we'll meet at 7 p.m. IST. Okay, thank you all. Good night, good day, guys. Bye.
Thanks a lot.